Hello and welcome back to another video. I did not post one yesterday. I was basically chilling, just relaxing at my house and trying to think of video ideas. And I came up with this one late last night, so I thought I would just sit down and discuss it. Why is there a box hanging from the ceiling? I don't know. Anyway, that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Booksmart. What? I can't even say it correctly. Booksmart versus Street Smart. So basically, this conversation came up where I was talking about how I am the smartest person, sort of bragging a little bit, and everyone else was like, book smart wise, yes, we'll get that one to you, but street smart is very important. I'm like, you don't need street smart, you need book smart, because book smart is how you get through school, how you get an education and go through college, and how you're going to get your job. But then they were making their counter argument here, how street smart can save your life if you're getting jumped. Now, it depends where you live, I guess, to start off for the street smart thing. If you're living in Valentine, Nebraska, yes, that is a real place. The reason I know that's a real place because that was a trivia question. I got it wrong. It has like a population of 2,000. I doubt anything shady's happening in Valentine, Nebraska, or Mattoon, Illinois, where I live. We have 18,000. There's not a whole lot of people getting jumped. I've lived in my house for 10 years. It's never gotten broken into. Very secure, very safe. I feel like it's not like every time you look at the newspaper or check your phone, it's like, oh, so-and-so's getting jumped, someone getting kidnapped, someone robbed a bank. No, not if you go to Chicago, St. Louis, LA. The big cities, then yeah, you're basically asking for it at that point because that had a really high homeless person rate and a lot of criminals. I mean, what they call drug sellers, dealers, not drug sellers, drug dealers, whatever. So I mean, yeah, you find those kind of people in Chicago. So you're sort of asking for it at that point. And so in those big cities, then yes, street smart, I guess, would come in handy. And it doesn't have to be with FUDs. It can be as simple as, like if it's a hot day out, what do you make sure you always carry with you? Water. And you just don't always bring stupid stuff. You have to have some common sense, I feel, with as well. I feel like if I was in a my friend was asking me yesterday, if someone jumped you, what would you do? Now, to answer that one, I said run away. So to defend my answer, I'm completely blind, okay? So I can't see how many attackers there are. If there's more than one, I can't see what kind of weapons they have. They could have their bare hand, they could have a knife, they can have a gun. I don't know. They're most likely taller than me, okay? I'm 5 foot, okay? They're pretty sure they're 6 feet, 6'3", 6'5", 6'7", something like that. So they're taller than me, and there could be multiple of them. I feel like the first thing I would do is probably pay them off or try to talk to them like, hey, okay, so you see me, you want some money, go buy your McDonald's, leave me alone. But I would honestly run the opposite direction. They're like, no, that's how you get beat up. And I'm like, I'm not engaging it. I'm not starting to fight. I know I would lose in the fight. That's why I'm going the opposite direction, showing that, hey, I'm not going to attempt to risk my life trying to fight 2 people or more that I can't see, okay? So, yeah, basically they all laughed at me because I said I would run away. I mean, if it saved your life, it's like, you don't always have to fight, like, fight or flight. That's a saying. And, so basically, you either fight or you leave. And I'm choosing to fight. I'm leaving. So if I have the option to. So, I have an instances when street smart could be important. Say someone passes out on the side of the street, okay? You need some street smart, I guess, to know to check for their pulse, call 911, get them chest compressions if they need it, or CPR. It could also come in handy if you see someone shady you, like, change the other side of the street, just sort of stay clear, then you don't go up and be like, hey, would you like to babysit my kid this weekend? He's 5. So, you don't do, no. Okay. But now for my side of it, Booksmart, I think, reigns supreme because you can learn pretty much everything in a book, okay? Books are facts, and if they're not facts, you learn a lot. It can be fiction, non-fiction. It can help you a lot. Like, literally, they were testing my sex education yesterday, and they were asking me a brand of condoms, and I told them Trojan. I said the only reason I know that is from a romance novel I was reading. And then they made jokes about how, since I can't get any, I have to read about it. But that's neither here or there. But then they also asked me a pregnancy brand. Like, not pregnancy brand, my god. A pregnancy testing brand. I said Under Armour just because I had nothing else to say. And they're like, it's clear blue, duh. I'm like, what the hell? So, yeah. So, but yeah, Booksmart is, it's very important. I say you get you get a good paying job from being Booksmart. And I don't really think Street Smart gonna help you too much on your science test, for instance, or your math test or English. Now, could being Booksmart help you in a life or death situation? I mean, it could. If you were in class, your health class, and it's like, okay, if someone doesn't seem to be responsive, do these 3 steps. And I'm like, okay, so that sort of falls under Booksmart because you're reading about it, you're learning about it, you're taking in that information, and you can use it in a real life conflict if it arises. So, it's just one of those subtopics that are very interesting. So, like, you're either Street Smart or Booksmart. I don't really think you can be straight down the middle. Like, you can't like Victorious and iCarly. It has to be one or the other. And it better be iCarly. But anyway, but I mean, I know some people who they brag like they could survive on the streets. Like, oh, I'm part of a gang. If I saw someone, I would beat their ass so fast they wouldn't know what hit them. Or something like that. Yeah, they like to talk tough. I mean, in a real life situation, would they actually? Would they? They were telling me to go hang out on the streets for 72 hours in Chicago. No going inside for the night in a hotel, living on the streets, and they said something would happen. So, I mean, probably, if I look like, well, it's one of those things. If it looked like I didn't know where I was going, then yes, something might happen. If I looked like I was trying to be busy, then maybe something wouldn't happen. But, I mean, you know, you have those people who are like, oh, I am the toughest SOB there is, and but if they actually came face to face with a hardened criminal on the street, I don't think they'd be ready to engage in a fight, like a knife fight, a fist fight, a gun fight, you know. So they just like to talk. So that's just BS, honestly, from my point of view. Let's see. What else can we talk about? Also, Street Smart doesn't pay your bills unless you are becoming a bank robber, okay? But I suggest not becoming a criminal. So, but yeah, Booksmart is how you get a good paying job. Street Smart, you can be decent in school, but if you're Street Smart, you're sounding like you're gonna be a failure. And I don't mean that I'm like, oh, you suck sort of way, but it's just something you are preparing to be a disappointment in life, where you're gonna be homeless, living on the streets, living paycheck to paycheck, hand to mouth. If you're Street Smart, I don't know why you would prepare for that. I mean, they're good skills to have, but it's not like you really need them, I guess. Now, someone can make the counter argument as well, and they could be like, well, what's something? I'm trying to think of a good counter argument. It's very hard when you're so pro one side and not the other side, like politics. Like, if you're a Democrat, it's very hard to come up with good points for the Republicans' side of things. And if you're a Republican, it's very hard to look at good views from the Democrat without tearing them down 24/7. And I'm not tearing down Street Smart. I'm just pointing out different things, how Booksmart had its flaws, how Street Smart have its flaws. And, like, on the on the politics thing, I don't know what I am. I think I'm straight down the middle. Whatever. Republicrat, I don't know. But I just take in both sides of information, And I guess that applies to this too. Like, someone could be watching this and they'd be like, okay, I take one sentence that you said about Street Smart, I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But then I take one sentence about Street Smart, I'm like, that's absolute BS. Who would ever use that in real life? And then the same thing can apply for Book Smart. So it just depends. That's how I am so with politics. Like, Donald Trump could open his mouth one day, I'm like, okay, I sort of see where you're coming from. And then the other day, I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard someone say. Nancy Pelosi, don't even get me on started. But no, anyway, Street Smart. If Street Smart was so important, would they actually teach in a class? Because there's not a class for Street Smart. What's Street Smart? Street Smart. I feel like they would have a class for it or something. I mean, it's not a major. You can't major in college. It's not a minor. You can't take it in a high school class. No, maybe you could. Every high school is different and offer different courses and different classes. But I'm just saying at my high school, both my high schools I attended, there was no Street Smart class. I've never heard anyone say, oh, I got an A in Street Smart class, so yeah, don't mess with me on the streets. Oh god, that'd just be weird if someone actually did say that. So I'm honestly like just trying to come with things to say. I've been up for 8 hours. I've been up since like 2:14. It's 12:06 when I started recording this. So I'm just looking forward to my mid-afternoon nap. That's why I'm recording this so early. So yeah, I don't know. I think that's it. So as I stand, I am on the Booksmart side because Booksmart gets you a good education. It pays your bill. You're actually smart. Not smart. No. Okay, it's my Street Smart. Street Smart, on the other hand, can be a good thing if you need to save your life or one of your friends' lives or something like that. Like, it's good to know an alternate route to your house if the bus breaks down, or what to do if someone's stalking you like a weirdo. Those kind of situations are good, but I don't think, unless something goes completely wrong, or if you're in a big city, that's gonna happen, okay? So, yeah, that's where I stand on that. So, I hope you liked this video. Sort of a little discussion on Street Smart versus Book Smart. And, the sex education part of it, I didn't even mention that part. They also said everyone needs to know sex education. I guess I sort of agree on to a point on that one. I mean, I'm still very dense in that area, just because I haven't done anything sexually. But, I mean, I guess I do agree with my friend. Don't tell them, but I agree with them. Oh, no. Yeah, but, they were literally asking me all sorts of questions, like what to do if I got jumped, like for the Street Smart, or what the other one? I forget the other one, but, you know, questions like that just to, and then they'd be like, you're so dumb. I'm like, thanks, I didn't know that, but I could ask you what the capital of Nebraska or Maine, or just the most random question, or a math question, because everyone hates math apparently except me. And they'd be like, oh, that's not fair. And I'm like, oh, so you think asking me what a pregnancy testing brand isn't fair, even though I'm never going to need to take a pregnancy test a day in my life? Stupid Clear Blue. Anyway, yeah, I'm out. Hope you liked this video. I'll see you tomorrow in another video. Bye.